Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're out at my parents' house in their garden working on their vegetable garden raised beds, which are done. They have been built. The whole space isn't 100% complete, but it was time for an update anyway because I think we showed this to you, it's been a couple of months ago now. What are you yahoos doing back there? I can hear
We're doing behind the camera dancing.
Oh, nice. Was it like 2 months ago that we showed this space and it was fairly like cleared out?
Very.
Right?
Yeah, it's been at least 2 months.
Yeah, maybe was the rock wall was done.
Well, and wasn't it when we planted these roses?
Oh, you know what? That might be.
I'm not sure, but that might be.
And you guys, they look amazing. Do you remember when we planted these are the At Last roses that we got bare root? So I brought them all out here. We got, I think, 10?
10.
We did 5 on each side?
5 on each side. And they, like last week, they were in their prime.
Oh, they still look prime.
They do. And I've been really pleased with how they just keep forming new buds. So I just deadheaded them. So they're a little tiny bit.
They look great.
Like cut back looking.
I mean, given the fact that they came bare root and they were little.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny.
And we were just looking at how they match the Lady of Shalott, which are the climbing roses that are on this arbor that leads to the vegetable garden space. So maybe we can flash back real quick and show you guys what the space looked like before. There was an old wood fence, much like that one. Well, was it identical to that one?
It was identical to that one, but it was falling apart. It was rotting. It was just about to tip over. So
it was
as
time.
much as we hated to, you know, you and I don't love like change a whole bunch.
Right.
You know, but there is a season where you've got to just be brave and just do it.
Also, the fact that you have just gained yourself, I don't even know how many square feet of gardening space.
Yeah.
Also, Benjamin ended up here with 2 different types of shoe on. They're similar.
With no socks.
Did you even look, Bud, when you were putting your shoes on?
Yeah, I saw it, but I just can't find the other shoe correctly.
Oh, well, at least you found one left and one right. And that's all that matters, right?
It works.
Yes, it does. All right, guys. So we just saw the flashback of what it looked like before. There was railroad ties were the retaining wall, which is a little dated, you know. So
I never liked it. It was here when we moved in.
You didn't really notice it, though.
Well, because I had plants all over it. So
You
it
did.
would hide it.
Yes. So we did show you the stacked rock wall, and Pedro and his crew did this. Pedro and his crew are beasts. They are awesome.
They are.
Yeah. So they did that, and then they came in and did this flagstone pathway right here, and it just takes you right to the potting shed. And then they put together, these are 4 by 12, am I right?
4 by 12 inside measurement.
Okay.
And these are 4 by 6 cedar.
Nice.
So we had to have them planed because it's kind of an unusual
You
size.
can't find cedar that size.
And cedar, we had to wait like 2 months, I think, for these pieces of lumber to come, but they are nice.
They are nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. So look at this, you guys. This is how our raspberry beds, which I love, are stacked. Like this, that they did some great big black bolts in there, too high. So you've got...
It's 12 inches high, but it's perfect because you can actually just sit and you can reach halfway in, which that's the biggest thing. The old ones that I had 8 triangle-shaped beds. Well, the corners are pretty much good for nothing. You know, to grow, you could grow radish or onion, something skinny.
Yeah.
But anything blousy, that corner's not good. And then in the center of the triangle, I could barely reach.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the whole point of raised beds is so that you don't have to get up in them.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the premium raised bed mix.
Same stuff we used in ours from
and that's
Cloverdale.
Why I used it because you are so pleased with, with what you have. It's a little bit...
It's surprising, though.
Is it?
Yes.
I was kind of like, this is like different soil than I'm used to.
Yep. You will love it. I mean, we grow some pretty good stuff in ours.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So there are 8 of them, 8 4 by 12s, and 3 of these arbors, which you've got 2 Colette roses for.
I do. So we're gonna grow those on the center.
So
I kind of like it to be like the French kitchen garden with flowers, herbs, and vegetables all mixed up together.
Nice. And you know, recently Monrovia sent out a bunch of sunflowers, and Aaron and Samantha are on their way out here in a little while. And so we're going to plant some of those out here. I think that'll be instant beautiful. But our main goal for this morning is to run drip in these raised beds. It feels like that's kind of the theme of my spring is running drip everywhere that we go. So I have a couple of different options that I thought we would run through. First of all, are these one zone? Like
this is
on its own.
It is on its own.
So you can run it as long as you want.
Yes, you can.
I brought both brown 1/2-inch drip tubing that has emitter holes every 12 inches, and then I also brought drip tape, which has emitter holes every 6 inches. They have a little bit of a different look. For us here with the hard water, drip tape can be a little bit more cost effective. It's easy to run it. I think it might make a difference based on how these are faced. So they brought up the water into each corner. There's a valve so you can turn off each bed. And then they have this coupler, which, you know, gets you to your 1/2-inch drip tube, whether you're doing a solid supply line with the black poly or the actual brown drip tubing. It's facing the long direction, which if we do drip tape, I like it to be on this side, and then we run our drip tape rows that way. Or we can come off of it, straight off of it with brown drip tube. We can run it as a first row and then just make a grid in each bed. I brought everything, so we could do it either way.
What about this? What about if you put an elbow on here and turned it? Now we'd lose this.
You would.
We'd lose that. But when, you know, what's that?
Sorry. Or we can come off with black poly. I can scoot the dirt to the other end.
Yeah.
So we've got to access, our water access actually goes to the other end, and then it elbows over, and we take our drip tape from that end.
I think that sounds good because I think it makes more sense. Oh, CS.
CS is messing up the mulch.
This might be.
This is a trial.
This is I think I'm going to regret this.
It's pretty.
It's beautiful, but it goes everywhere. It sticks to your feet.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this is to have it be clean and that you're not walking in mud.
Right.
But this is 2,000 pounds of. Came in a tote, a great big tote, and so we bought it bulk. So we got a good deal, you know, on it. But I think I'll just pop this up into the beds because it's actually a mulch.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You can cover over all the drip tape or drip tubing with that. So you can do all your planting. You can test your drip tubing, make sure it all works, and then cover over all the infrastructure.
Yes, and then we'll have just like a fine, almost like a pea gravel brought in to walk on because already I don't want it always to be kicked onto the brand new pathway.
Yeah, you'd feel like you need to have the blower or broom all the time.
And I thought this maybe would work, you know, once it gets settled. Now, speaking of settling, do you see this first bed?
I did notice.
Here?
It looks like you maybe tested the water in this one.
No, that's not it.
No?
There's a sprinkler over here that has a lot of pressure.
Oh,
I don't know which one it is because it comes on at night. So I'm going to turn it on in the day and re-angle it.
Yeah.
Look how much it settled this bed.
Yep.
And so I did go over with this. We can see they're kind of wet.
Yeah.
I did go over.
To settle it.
But this is like a good rain or something
that
lasts for hours. And it really settled it.
Okay, so it's up to you whether or not you want to do the brown drip tube versus the drip tape. So pros and cons. The brown drip tube kind of looks better, but you're going to cover over it anyway. We would be able to do a little bit of a cleaner run. You'd have to run it longer because your emitter hole's only every 12 inches. Drip tape is cheaper to replace for hard water deposits, which we have to do often. You've got drip emitters every 6 inches instead of every 12, so your coverage would be a little better, a little quicker. It's totally up to you.
I think I'm going to opt for the drip tape.
Okay, so we're going to do a black poly run to the end of each bed. We'll do an elbow and then an ender. So that's our water access supply line. Then we'll tap in with four rows of drip tape. And then they'll actually end on this side. So the water will come through the drip tape over here, and then we'll have our enders. Easy peasy. So I'm going to gather up all of our supplies, which I've got in the back of the truck. We'll get it all out here. I'll show you all of the stuff. And we did a very similar setup to this in my sister-in-law Alyssa's raised beds in April. I think it was April, maybe it was May, I don't know. Kind of all runs together at this point, but that is kind of the same vibe, but I'll go over the supplies anyway. We have a glorious day to be out here working.
It's so nice.
Oh, you know, I didn't even go over here. I feel like before we get into this, I should show you there is a hedge of strawberries. You can hedge anything you want to hedge.
That's right. And these are seascapes.
They're awesome.
Now, there were lots of berries on these just a couple of days ago, but we had a deer in our yard.
Oh.
Davey, did I tell you that?
No.
I came out here. I always bring coffee out and look around. There's a deer standing right here on the pathway looking at me, and it's a big doe.
Oh my.
And she was just like
hello.
unfazed. And I walked out and she walked down, but she ate every one of them.
Well, dang.
So, but she didn't ruin the plants.
That's great. Well, you gave her the good stuff.
She was awful cute.
Yeah. And this fountain used to be right here where the fire pit is. They are about ready to tear off the back side of the house. The house renovation has not started yet, clearly, but that will start.
Oh,
who knows? They were supposed to start in
May, first of May.
Yeah, and it's so pretty though. I like it. I like it just the way it is. It's going to be awesome.
I like it too. But we are, you know, our family's not getting smaller.
Right.
And it's so tight in there that you can hardly sit around the table.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just tight.
Okay, let's get our supplies. Oh my goodness, here we go. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, here's our supply lineup. We've got our 1/2-inch black poly, and this is a specific type of black poly. It's 1/2-inch Centennial drip tubing. It's got the blue line right here, and you usually can't find this in the regular irrigation section inside the box store, at least in our Home Depot. You know, you don't find it where all the other drip parts are. You have to go to the outside portion where the garden center is, and then they've got like a bunch of more professional, like commercial grade stuff for irrigation out there, and that's where we get this, and it's way more heavy duty and it does not kink. It's awesome. And then we've got our drip tape right here, and this has the emitter holes every 6 inches, and you face the emitter holes up, not down.
Okay.
It seems counterintuitive, but they say that what happens if you set your holes down, if there gets any like sediment inside, it wants to settle at the bottom of the tape.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, so when it fills up, the sediment, if there is any, will be at the bottom and the water can still go up and sub out. These are our drip tape enders right here. So we'll need 4 per bed. We'll need 1 1/2-inch black poly ender, 1 elbow, 3 clamps, which this is our clamping tool. This is to clamp the poly to our coupler here and also to our coupler over there. And then we've got our punch tool. This will punch in a hole into the black poly so that we can put our drip tape connectors on. Then I've got my Felcos and a bunch of landscape staples. So we're just gonna go ahead and run this first bed, and then we'll stop and I'll give you a little tour of that before we tackle the rest of the seven, right? There's 8 total.
There's 8.
I thought there was 6 total. Like I came here thinking there was only 6 beds for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, here we go. We got the first bed done and it looks so tidy.
It does. I love it.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, so I tried to get close up so you guys could see what we did. Put the 1/2-inch black poly onto the coupler here, used a clamp to clamp it on, and then we trenched that line all the way over to here where it elbows, and I used clamps on that connection as well. And then the supply line runs across the header of this bed, and then we used a figure 8 to shut it down. And then I did some measuring and some math to figure out exact distances.
Yep.
So this first run goes in 9 inches, and then there's 10 inches between each one in the middle, and then 9 inches on this side. And we also measured on the other side so that we could get them exactly straight. Oh, it looks so good.
I don't even want to mulch it.
It looks pretty nice. What we're going to do now is we're going to test this bed, make sure it all works, and then if it does, Mom is going to just use this snow shovel. Handy to have one of those around.
I can't find our actual scoop.
Well, that works great.
Yeah.
So she's going to use that snow shovel to scoop up this compost and top dress over the top of all the drip lines as soon as we know that they all work. Oh, yes. Look at that. It's beautiful.
That's lovely.
So it's just perfect because sometimes I don't get these, oh, yep, like that. I don't get these tight. Also, we're not going to just have one bed on with all the pressure going to one bed. They'll all be on, so that will be a little less of a concern, but I'll get this tighter right now real quick.
That was some extreme pressure.
Yes, it was.
Look how neat though.
So you're going to mulch over the top of this one. Everybody just behold the beauty though. The beauty of the tiny lines.
This like feeds us.
Yes. When I got the measuring tape out, Aaron's like, I think you're totally overthinking this, which surprises me because usually he's the king of precision. Yeah. So anyway, this makes me so happy. We are going to tear into the rest of these beds and get them done so that we can plant. That's the next step.
This works.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Works perfect. Oh.
You sure you don't want to wait and we can do that together?
No, I like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at how beautiful.
That's gonna be pretty. And you know, having the gravel contrast will be nice too, I think.
I think so too. I just, you know, sometimes gravel is hot looking to me, but
in this kind of quantity, because you'll have stuff in this open space, I just don't know that it's gonna look that hot.
I don't think it will.
Because I don't think you really see it. You'll have stuff flopping over the sides and, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and we actually talked about doing some Gothic framed winter covers.
Yeah.
For this.
Nice.
At least a couple of them so we can have things growing in the,
Oh.
at least extend our season way out. You know.
That would look fun.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna get after this. Oh my goodness, you guys, we just sat down and had a little bit of a rest. We got the drip run, we got all of the mulch in the beds, which means all of the landscape fabric has been cleared off because that's what we used to top dress. And we had just enough. I mean, I had a couple extra scoops to put right here and that's it. I can't even believe it. Oh, they turned out so pretty. You can't even really see the infrastructure. It's nice that we've got every one of these beds tested. We let them run for a little while. You know, when we initially tested the first bed, we blew one of the lines off, fixed that and never had it happen again. But you can see where you can turn the bed off right there. So you can see the red valve just kind of peeking out of the mulch, and this mulch will settle, or compost rather, will settle. You can see the beginning of each row of drip tape right here, but you really don't notice any of the infrastructure, and I love that so much. So we did go ahead and we planted the 2 Colette roses right here, which, you guys, that's the same climbing rose that we have at either entrance of our raised bed vegetable garden, and they are pretty spectacular. I think they're gonna look really nice here. They're kind of they look like an English rose, really pretty soft pink, wonderful fragrance, and super prolific. Like, they pump out the flowers, but their flowers are a little bit on the daintier side. They're not like huge roses. They're like, I want to say 3 to 3 inches maybe. And then on these other arbors, I think that we're going to do cucumbers. We're going to put corn in this bed. We haven't planted any of the seeds yet. We are getting ready to plant all of the sunflowers. So just as a reminder, I did show these in a video recently, but these are the ones that Monrovia sent out. There is the brown-eyed girl right here, which you can see a little bit more of the coloring in some of these other ones. So as they, right here, look at that, a little bit more of a brown in the center. And then this one here is Golden Girl, which is just a pure yellow. That's gonna be such a happy, it already is a happy bed. So right over here, Mom's got all of her seeds out. So we've got some sunflower, sun-gold dwarf, Ashley cucumber, Tuscany cantaloupe, Castor pumpkin, sweetness corn, butternut squash, sweet dumpling squash, acorn squash, a ton of different zinnias here. Ooh, and amaranth. Pretty. It's nice that the raised beds were finished in time for them to get some crops in. I know, going into the gardening season, it's a little bit of a bummer if you don't have, if your garden space is all torn up and you can't really plant anything, but this worked out perfectly. All the stuff I just listed off, they'll all have time to produce. So we'll get it all done, and then I'll run you back through the beds. Oh my goodness, you guys, we got it done. And every bed is filled except for one little small section in one of the beds. We ran out of seeds, so my mom's gonna grab something different and fill that in later, but we'll walk you through and show you everything. We had one more of the runs of drip tape blow off the coupler. While we were actually in the shade, we were talking about seed placement, and I don't know how long it was going. It made a little bit of a mess. Look at this though. Oh my gosh. Instant beautiful right there. So Golden Girl gets about 32 inches by 32 inches, and this one gets 3 by 3, which is the Brown Eye Girl. Be really fun to see just this huge big poof of sunflowers coming out of this raised bed. This is the bed that blew. You can see in the corner there, we're just waiting until that soil dries up and then we can brush that off. But I think I got it on tight enough, and all of the beds are currently on right now. So we should be able to tell, hopefully, Mom, in the next little while, if anything blows. We have a little cleanup. In fact, Mom just ran to get another battery for the blower to do, and then we're gonna go jump in the pool because we're feeling dirty and we're feeling hot. Just a quick walk through. In this bed here, we've got the Isabellina Zinnias, which are kind of a creamy yellow, and then Purple Prince, and then 2 rows of the, what is this called? Coral Beauty. Mom ran out of plant ID tags. So this video right here, this walkthrough is more for our benefit.
This is going to be our recording of what is in these beds. Yeah.
And you planted a cucumber, right?
Yes, at Ashley.
Right on that arbor?
Yes, Ashley cucumber. I actually planted Ashley cucumbers on both sides.
Perfect.
And I actually did them on both sides of the other one as well, because we eat a lot of cucumbers.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I juice them and I put them in smoothies, and I love cucumbers.
Nice. And then sunflowers in this bed. Okay, so I made 3 rows. There's an empty row right in the center that has nothing in it. Well, there's no row made, but there was. I thought there was going to be enough seeds, but these seed packets did not have very many seeds. So Moonshadow and Ruby Eclipse sunflowers in this bed here. And then what are those varieties, Mom?
These are the dwarf, and I tore the tag off. I tore the thing off.
They're a small.
It's a dwarf little, like a good cut size, like a little dwarf thing. And then this is Irish Eyes. I like that green center.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
And then in this bed, there's the Colette, the other cucumbers, and you did...
This is Amaranth.
Amaranth.
And it likes to be shallow planted, so as it germinates, I might go in and hill it in a little bit.
Nice.
But the drip line's working so great.
It is working great. So you have room on this side to do a little something as well.
Uh-huh.
And then in this bed...
This is corn. All of this is corn.
And the variety, remind me?
It's called Sweetness.
It's a bicolor.
It is, and it's like a 65-day.
Ah, perfect.
So since we're so late in getting this planted, we planted things that would just, this isn't normally what we would plant all in our vegetable garden, but it's late.
Oh, it's going to be so pretty.
So who cares?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
In this bed, there are 2 vine crops, which are?
These are both squash. I have to go get my little packets.
So there was you don't remember?
No.
Is there a butternut in this one?
There might be a butternut. There's a possibility that there's a butternut in here. and oh gosh, I need to go get my tags.
Well, I know this one though has a melon, right? The Tuscany melon.
Tuscany melon.
And then there's another dwarf sunflower in 2 rows here, and then half the bed there's 2 rows open right there. So she'll plant just something different in that bed.
All right, Laura. All right.
You got your packets?
These are the bulk from Andrews.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, okay.
So these are the only 2 beds left we haven't walked through. This one and that one.
Okay. So this one has a butternut squash and a sweet dumpling squash.
Okay.
And this one has a Castor pumpkin and an acorn squash.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a lot of vining crops, but I don't care.
Oh, it's going to be real pretty.
Yeah, it'll. And then this spot right here is going to be. We're not sure, right, Laura?
We talked about a couple possibilities,
Yeah.
like possibly tapping into the drip and bringing. Well, we'll have to tap into it either way.
Yeah.
Bringing the drip over, and then maybe even doing a boxwood formation that's like kind of like a lazy triangle.
Yeah.
Like not a really sharp, something that will maybe follow the line of the walkway a little bit. It'll be set back though, and then maybe filling it full of like a pollinator garden sort of a thing,
like wildflower looking.
Yeah,
very very loose,
like a Gara look.
Yeah, a very meadowish. We're gonna do like a miniature meadow right
but
here.
with a very sharp, with the formality with the boxwood hedge.
Yep.
We also talked about doing vine crops in here, or
Yeah.
something that requires some kind of a beautiful wicker or like cloche of some kind.
Yeah. So now, if we find something on our antiquing trips, wouldn't it be fun to have something in here?
Yeah. Because, we thought initially we could do a little seating area, but there's already one over there. There's a fountain here.
Yeah.
Whatever goes in this space, it will be centered with this arbor right here. So if you had something, like the boxwood thing, it would kind of draw you over a bit. I don't know. I think it would maybe be good just to mulch over it and think about it too.
I think we need to do that. For right now, we'll just cover it and then we'll think on it. Because all of a sudden an idea will hit you.
Yeah.
And it might be next year when it hits you. That's okay.
Right.
Just let it, relax until you figure it out.
And there's plenty to take care of in the meantime. So plenty to do.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do. But it's what we like to do.
But for now, are you ready to swim?
I'm so ready to swim. Oh, I'm hot.
I am too. And you guys, that is going to be it for today's project. Super happy with everything we got done today. And this was kind of a spur of the moment project. We were talking on the phone the other night, and the mom was talking about how she was starting to gather seeds for her beds, but she needed to run drip. And I thought, I could do that. That would be a really fun project to come over here and take some time. So now we are just going to go enjoy a little bit of time in the pool and cool off and relax a little bit. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We will come back later on this season and give you an update tour of how it's going, and then possibly, how about a tour of the whole garden one of these days?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Maybe we can do that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching again. See you in the next one. Bye.